I had already charted gold last night, and essentially with gold, what I'm looking for them to do is these are going to be the two extremes, overall extremes with gold. Gold is in a range, guys, so you need to keep playing the range. So here, if they come back down to here, I'm looking for that to hold. Um, this short term, this is the shortest term range here. So right here and here. Okay. I would continue to play that. Um, you are going to want to be a little bit careful here at 254 area. Um, if you are long from anywhere down here, 254 is a good take profit. And this is going to be your outer extreme. Okay, with gold. Um, you're getting pretty strong rejections here. So they're trying to break out of this range, and they got immediately reversed back into it. Here they try to break below, and they're defending here. They're defending here. These aggressive buyers, okay, that accumulated right here and sent price all the way up to the top. All right. So as of now, if gold continues to hold this general area here, it should, in theory, go and has the more potential to break to the upside, but you don't want to put too much weight on that just because we are in a range. So hopefully I'm clear on that pretty much. This is the meat and potatoes basically of this range is here and here. 254 you want to pay attention to. You want to exit those longs if anybody is long from here now, or if they give the entry down here. You definitely want to trim or exit completely at 54, and then just see what potentially they give you, what they do at 54, and they break that, then they've got a potential to come back up to 275. I would say if again they can take out 254, really 254 to 260. Right, they've got ideally here. You can see how this is essentially an SR flip here. Okay, they really got to get back above this guy. Okay, to continue to go higher. So, but again, that 254, you've got a pretty decent ledge there. So you want to be careful when we get back to it. Okay. Any questions on gold? Okay. Let's see here. ES.
Oh, sorry, you got to.
ES has really been just horrible to trade these last few days. They are not following through on anything. They're not following through to the upside, and they're not following through to the downside. So, essentially, ES has been a shit show. And the thing that we've got to basically, you got to adapt, right, to these market conditions that we're in right now, and they're essentially just like I said, they're bad, right? No direction. Here we broke clearly to the upside. We broke a monthly TPO ledge here, which they should have held. They couldn't. Came back here. They broke initial balance low, I think. And yeah, they broke initial balance low, and again, couldn't follow through, right? So usually when you break above a key level like this monthly ledge, right, you should hold it in theory and continue to go higher, right? The failure to do that, and then the fact that they came down like this, right, and then you break initial balance low, well then, you should, right, if the market isn't being crazy like it's being right now, you should, execute lower, right? And if you look here at these profiles that we're looking at for the most part, initial balance has just been pretty horrible. Okay, even that's how you really know that the market doesn't know what it wants to do at all. Right here, you come back, right? You go to the IBH, you come back to the bottom. You start framing down on A and B period here. Again, no follow through, right? Same thing here, right? You get a break to the downside, no follow through. Break to the upside, again, no follow through, right? Then you finally spend, a lot of time outside of IBL, right? You break back into it, you don't go hit the top, right? You go basically to the midpoint. Same thing here. All right, this one was the only type of decent day where it kind of played out. But even here, they were dumping this thing in here. No follow through, reversing it. So, long story short, guys, the best way to play this now is going to be looking for small moves. Okay, looking for your 10 to 15 point moves. Getting in on those extremes, catching your 10 points, and getting out. Right? This week I've been up a lot, but then I get stopped out. Right? So normally the way I trade is I enter at a level and I hold it. Right? And I make a lot of money doing that. But really, this whole last week, and I guess a little bit even before this last week that just finished up, that has not been working out, right? I'll be in profit for, a good 15 points, 17, 20 points. And I've been giving it back. Because, normal market conditions, I guess you could say, where they're following through on their breakouts or, break of initial balance or stuff like that. That's the best way to do it, right? To hold your trade and, respect your target and squeeze as much as you can out of the trade. So, you're not trading, 10 trades a day. But recently, this last week, like I said, it's not been working. It's more of like a scalpers type of situation here. So, with that said, this is still an important level here. This is still an important level here. But the best way that, I'm going to start trading this week is to look for levels where you're getting immediately rejected, right? And start playing those. And basically fading the market, right? Because if you pay attention here, guys, every breakout that we're getting, for the most part, even this dump here, right? You're getting trapped. Everybody's getting trapped, right? They came in here, sold off, pull back. This looks like they're about to give you the second leg down, and no follow through, right? So the best thing to start doing here is fading this market, trying to look for your extremes within the previous day, and play the ranges basically, and then fade the breakout of those ranges. So like in this scenario here, right, you get a breakout to the upside, and then ultimately what ends up happening is you come right back into this range, right? You come back into this range here, and the best thing to do is to start fading those, right? So you get the breakout, you come back, look for that pullback up into that upper extreme, right? You want the top of the range as much as you can. Short that, right? Same thing down here. Okay, you get aggressive buyers here. They don't want the price to go lower. You come back. It's better to play that than to wait for a continuation move down, right? Same thing here. You get an aggressive move down, absolutely no follow through. Immediate reversal, right? The market really has been pretty damn bad. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. So that's what we're going to have to do. Let's see what. Nvidia is stuck in in the same range here. They've got to, for Nvidia to start going higher, they really got to take this guy out here. So they've got to, them taking this out, and this out. If they can give you a breakout like this, right, give you another one, that would actually be some sort of confirmation there to look for this level down here to hold. And then maybe ES will start to go to the upside. But Nvidia is doing the same thing, guys. It's just stuck in this range. Okay, and they're breaking down, getting brought back in. Okay, so it's doing the same thing. They're not really giving you any clear direction. Here you had an aggressive sell-off that did end up coming, sending us lower, but now they've reclaimed it. They've reclaimed it, and they're basically consolidating right here within this area, right? So there is really not that much clear direction here. If you look at these profiles, we are starting to frame up just a little bit. We can go and look at this 2-day balance here. Okay, you get to see it. Yeah, this previous day value area high here pretty much lines up at 68% of this area. Lower value area of this 2-day balance is sitting right in the middle of this, basically. So this is validating this level a little bit more. It's giving it a little bit more importance. So long story short here, what I'm trying to say is it's a little bit confusing, but if they can give you something like this, right? If they do something like this tonight or tomorrow, where they come in and you see that they're immediately reversing, and they come and they reclaim this area, this is where you want to fade, right? The breakout, right? So you're breaking out, right? They reclaim it. This is where you want to do something like this, right? Instead of doing what we normally do, which is, okay, we broke out. We broke this level here. All right, let me go ahead and short it, right? They've been doing the opposite, right? They've been breaking the levels, reclaiming them, and then going to the opposite side. That's what they've been doing. So that's what I'm going to look to trade in that manner. All right, that's what I'm going to try to do, because that's the only thing really we can do right now. Until they start to get a clear until they start to get a clear direction, got to start switching gears here a little bit and start going to more scalping, taking those 10, 15 point moves and going on about our day. This is our 4-hour strong high here. And keep in mind, these guys are responsible for this move to the downside. These guys right here. And possibly that's why they're stalling out here. And I would say, guys, if they If they can't break above this level here, um, this is actually going to be pretty bearish. Looking at a higher time frame perspective here, they are slowing down, right? The performance is really, really starting to stagnate here. Okay. So everybody understands what I mean by that, right? Here you had a pretty healthy value area here, but then look at how compressed this one is. Right, this one's very compressed here. I mean, look at it compared to this guy here sitting at. I shouldn't have him muted. Do I have him muted? No. He's muted on his end. I think I don't have him. Yeah, Colby, if you're trying to speak, I don't have you muted.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I can hear you now, yeah.
Yeah, it keeps going in and out.
Yeah, what's up? Did you say something?
No, you had pointed it out right before I said it, where we had that SR flip at a daily value that created our lows back there in October, like 28th. Look at that weekly. There's a strong LP in there.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right where your low is.
Right here? Is that what you're saying?
If you look back to your left, previous week back before that, if you can look above, there's an SR flip right where your level is. Yeah, right in there. Right up. There's ledge right there from that LP in.
This one, right?
Yeah, right where you got your level. Yeah, so I can even say you were on top of it.
Yeah.
I turned it back off.
Yeah, and that's that 4-hour strong high sitting here. This guy, I remember this is a 4-hour strong high right here. So looking at this from a higher time frame perspective here, right? If you start adding these things together, right? So we've got, we're coming up, came and tested this 4-hour strong high. There's very high accumulation here. If you guys remember what we saw on footprints, they were coming in with 3,000, 2,000 lots, all up here, right at the very top, right? So looking at that, and then adding this directional performance here, which is really honestly pretty crappy, right? Here you've got 42 points, right? Here you've got 172 points, right? So that's letting us know that directional performance is not strong, right? Meaning, right, it seems here, what does it seem they're trying to do here? Anybody wants to take a guess here or knows?
Would that be accumulation? Like they're trying to build up something for strong momentum upwards?
Well, that's one, but what are they trying to accomplish as far as market direction?
They're trying to go higher, but buyers are getting exhausted.
Yeah, they're trying to go higher, right? Because we are going higher, right? They're trying to, right? But again, we're running out of. It looks to me we're running out of steam big time, right? Yeah. I mean, they could be trying to do that, right? But again, here we are officially running back. Do what? This is the 65-minute. I'm looking at the weekly profiles here. So they're trying to go higher, right? And they are. I mean, they are going higher, right? But the direction of performance here is not good. For a weekly area to be 42 points, that is bad. Right? That is not good. Most of your weekly levels are going to be, higher than that, right? But what happens after a small accumulation here, like these, you get a big move, right?
So why are you saying that why are you saying that it's bad that it's only 40 points?
Because they're trying to go higher, but the fact that it's a small value area on a weekly, they're not able to perform well. So let's say your job is to go from point A to point B, or to go from point A to point B, um,
Right.
and you've barely gotten anything done, right? The whole week you
Yeah.
barely gotten anything done, right? That's kind of letting you know that, hey, there is weakness here.
Okay.
Does that make sense? When when directional performance is strong, you're gonna get a move like this, right? You're gonna get a wide value area, right? Because it's strong, right? Look, I mean, here you can clearly see big move, a little bit of consolidation, clear breakout again, consolidation, clear breakout again, consolidation, clear breakout again. Now look at this, right? They are going up, but in what manner are they going up? Right? Here, okay, they pull back, they break it, and then what happens? Immediately they come back in. Right? Here they try one more time, they can't do it. Right? They can't even get higher. Immediately come back down. Right? Here they finally break it, and then they just chop sideways. They give you another breakout here, but then immediately get rejected back inside. Right now here, so what this is kind of, what I start suspecting here is that essentially somebody is determined to keep price from dumping right now. Right. If you look at these, just looking at this price action here, who seems stronger, buyers or sellers?
Bye.
Okay. Yeah. So here, if you look, right, these the sellers are the ones that seem to be stronger, right? Because to go up, it's costing them a lot, right? To come down, they're coming down quickly, right? They're going up, but it's taken them a longer time to do so, right? Um, the rejections are quick, right? So again, to me, it seems that they're trying to go higher, but they're really starting to run out of steam. They're getting tired, right? They're getting tired, and the fact that again we have this big accumulation up here. I've got to turn on my footprints here to look. Okay, they're really running out of steam here at the top, and we've got a really strong accumulation here that happens to be at a 4-hour strong high here. And it happens to be at a 4-hour strong high from which what happened? We got rejected and we got a big move to the downside. Right? We got a real big move to the downside. Okay? These guys, all right, I'm not going to go through every single pullback here, but in general, these guys here did this. They came back. They did this. Right? Now we are back here. Right? We're back here, but with a lot of effort. A lot of effort, but not a lot of results. Okay? It's slowing down a lot, right? So that right there is a warning sign as far as being too bullish up here. And I would go and say that if we do not break this level here, okay, we've got a high chance of, we already went there. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. We already went there. So, as for you guys trading prop firms here, it's hard to get an entry, right? But if we cannot break this guy, we got a high chance of doing this. And if this guy here goes, we discussed this last week, right? If this guy here goes, that's going to be real bearish, right? We got a chance of coming down, like down. Why is that?
You can't tell TPO. The structure's just like paper thin.
Yeah, it's not good.
So it's gonna be a quick flush if they can't hold.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be a quick dump. Right. Remember, guys, they're gonna keep pushing this thing, right, until they finally start to flip people long. And once they do so, that's when you get the flush. Right? I mean, look at this. This is a weekly profile, guys. I want you guys to see this. I mean, for the most part, right? Look at all these profiles here. Here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. And then look at how small this one is. Right? It's real small. That's stuff that you got to pay attention to, right? When you start looking at a macro perspective, you really have got to look at that. Okay? If you're not looking at this when you go and you sit down and chart, okay, that's a problem. Okay? It's if you're a day trader, that's fine, but when you're really going to make a lot of money, right? Or maybe a lot of money is a wrong way to look at it, but where you're going to be able to catch a lot of points is looking at that higher time frame. Give me 1 second here. That higher time frame perspective, right? So don't forget to look at this type of information here, okay? Because it's vital. I mean, it's real important. Now here, right now, as it pertains to tonight here, right? Just looking at this here, you got a little bit of an LVN right here. Right here on the weekly, right? Now again, the problem is we're going to run right into this guy. All right, these guys that try to hold this. So this here is tricky to trade. If they can lose here, right, this previous day POC, okay, that'd be a little bit different, right? Then they have the potential to come down back and test these guys here, right? But shorting this right now, you'd be chasing. You would be chasing here. But I'm essentially trying to say, guys, here, in a Cliff Notes version is, why did this not yet? Sorry, this thing is not working. Just give me just 1 second here. Long story short here, I suspect that we can get a big dump, right? Unless they get over this and hold it, I do suspect that we're going to get a big move down. A big one. At least down to here. Right. This is basically your extreme of this zone, and this is the extreme of this. We're at the top. Okay, we came to the top here. And they accumulated really, really big up at the top. All right, let me look at the 4 hour here. Footprints. Yeah, here at this top here, we've got, I'm looking at the 4 hour candles here. All right. At the very top, sitting at 902, or 903, sorry, we've got 4,000, 2,700, 2,700, 2,800, 2,270, 2,975. All basically at, you're getting 3,292. Basically from 98 up to 903. Those are big boys.
Hey, Peter, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you were on the 65-minute looking at the weekly profile, and when you grabbed that LVN, your white box up at the top,
Yeah.
is there any particular reason why you grabbed the LVN there, but you didn't grab the ledge right below it? Is there a reason why the LVN is more important?
Let me see here.
Or are LVNs traditionally more important than a ledge in general?
Which ledge are you just talking about? This one here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is a this is important. Yeah, it is important, right? And you're seeing that's where they went to and rejected. Yeah, this is just basically the split of this area here, sitting at 90. This is where they immediately they spent little value here, meaning that both they broke it right with strength, but then they accumulated up here, and then broke it again with strength, right? And then look here, they protected it.
Okay.
Here they protected it. So what's gonna go ahead?
I was just going to say the fact that it was protected kind of gave you more of an inclination that that was more of an important zone.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you know, you can look at these to mitigate your risk, right? You could have entered short here, and that would be a perfectly good short, right? If they break above that, then we can expect them to come and test closer to here, right? But right now, essentially, in the short time, this is kind of the area that they need to stay below, and they're going to continue to flush this, right? Problem is you're running back into this ledge, and that's the problem. We're not getting follow through, right? In a regular market conditions here, you can short this, put your stop loss here, and just I would say swing this thing targeting here and even lower, right? But the way they've been protecting every drop, you got to keep that in mind. Right. It's annoying. I know it's really annoying the way they've been doing this recently. They're just not following through in any direction. Yeah. Right now, here the majority of the majority of the volume here is sitting at this 970 to 973, which is basically right around this ledge here. If they can lose that, like I was saying, then they should continue to come down. Right. The problem with entering short here is you're entering basically at close to the potential bottom here, right, where they can give you a bounce. Right. So the best thing to do here is wait and see if they do give you a bounce. Come here to the 70, pull back to this area here, short it. Right. Again, the fact that they accumulated so heavily here, kind of, it starts to alert me, right? I add this to the shitty directional performance here on the way up, right? And then you add that to this being a 4-hour strong high here, right? These were the guys that basically started this whole move down, right? When you add those three things together, it starts to give you a picture of, this can give you a big move, guys. We can get a big move. Okay, down. All right, everybody understands why clearly? If you have any questions, please ask. But you've got.
So you're expecting a bigger move down because it's not breaking that big high?
Yeah, because we're coming up to a 4-hour strong high, right? So usually, you expect rejections around there. I'm looking at footprints, and on footprints, we have massive, massive, massive accumulation here at that 4-hour strong high. And then you've got weak directional performance to the upside, right? So all those three things start to give you a clear picture, right? They start to the puzzle starts to come together.
Can you review NQ?
Yeah, I can look at it. The NQ master though is Colby. I'll look at it, but anything he posts on NQ in the chat, you want to pay attention to. I'm just giving you a little cheat sheet there. I can look at it for sure, but Colby knows NQ up, inside and out pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for, guys. I would like to short around here, and I would like to short around here tonight. Right here, I wouldn't. Right, you
But
get.
you think all this gonna happen tonight? Like you don't think they're gonna consolidate for a while?
Yeah, they can consolidate, right? That's why the only thing you got to do is set your trades at your levels, right? Don't overthink it. Just set your trade at your levels, and and just execute them, right? That's the only thing we can do. So don't get anxiety. Don't look to, even if you are expecting a big move down, right? This is not an area to enter, right? The best area to enter, a pretty decent one was here at 86. If you missed that, wait for them to give you a pullback, right? This area or this one, right? That's the best thing to do. Not again, not just jumping the gun and going to short this thing right here, because your RR would be absolutely horrible, right? NQ. NQ been trading better than it looks better than ES. Same thing here, guys. Essentially, you got your 4-hour strong high sitting here. You got your ledge sitting here right above it as the LVN, but this one looks cleaner than ES does. A lot more clear, you can see it. Right, I mean, look, this is kind of showing you here a little bit more clearly what I mean by directional performance here. Okay, you're going up here, and you come here to this area, and the directional performance here is small, right? It's not good, right? They gapped up, which is bullish, right? Very bullish, but then this is just shit, right? This should be wider. They should be accepting this, and they're not. They tried to defend here. They tried to defend here again. Ultimately, they couldn't get it done. These guys are the ones that accumulated heavily here. Okay, with NQ, they accumulated heavy here. And they did, because from here, you sold off. Right? So it's basically the same thing that we're looking at here with NQ, but these profiles are definitely nicer with NQ. They're a lot nicer.
I think, but sometimes they
Yeah, a little bit. They do trade a little bit differently, but overall, the profile does look volume profile, anyways, looks nicer here. It's more clear cut.
They're basically exactly the same right now. The only difference is the point spread on NQ, so it looks a little bit cleaner.
That's it, pretty much. I mean, this one is like super, uh, way better pronounced there. This is basically the bottom here, where they're gonna try to hold this right here. This area right here, and they're
See
basically.
how you got that ledge there, though? It was produced previous before by the bottom of that LVM before we ran down pretty far, but they continue to wick through it. This, the problem with NQ, the volatility that comes in. You got to be careful with those trades and wait for them to break out and then come back in because you're just going to get wicked out.
Yeah, that's what I was telling them at the very beginning of this recap here is, yeah, it's right now the way they've been trading this. It's better to wait for the break of it, the reclaim, and go. Uh, because yeah, if you set a limit here with NQ, uh, you're gonna be pissed off because, like Colby's saying, they're gonna come in, stop you out, then reclaim it, and then run it. Right. But this is essentially your overall range here. It's the same story, guys. Same story. These guys here are responsible for this move down. Okay, it really started up here. Okay, it started up here. They protected here and here. They came to it right now. Again, basically, long story short here, NQ also has the potential to give us a big move to the downside.
You see that yellow you got before we move down, right before your orange one? Before we move down far. Go to your left.
This one?
Right before, sorry, I got to move my screen over. Yeah, right before the bottom, yeah, right there, below that level where that ledge is you got marked.
Yeah.
That's the level I'm worried about. If we can get below there and create a little bit of value, we'll go back and test those buyers below as long as we lose that strong high, strong low we got right now.
This one here, right? The one this one right here.
Correct.
Yeah.
That one right there.
Yeah, and you can see it here just by all this level of flips they've got going on right here. Right, this general area here, like Colby's saying, has become support here, support. They finally lost it, flushed. They came here. It was resistance here, right, and they keep peeking below it and protecting it, right. But in general, yeah, look here, they came again, protected it. So yeah, like Colby's saying, you want them to actually build some value below here, and by building value, you want them to at least take these two guys out. In my opinion, right? Take these guys out here, come below it, build some value, give you a pullback. Look for them to respect that area and short it. Right? To me, that would kind of be a confirmation of we came to a 4-hour strong high here. They accumulated heavily and they managed to break a key level. Right? So that would kind of be confirmation to the fact that, okay, these guys are actually serious. And it looks like they're going to send us back down. Right? But we've got to be patient. Right now, we're in the middle of no man's land, basically. Right here. I mean, look at this. This is essentially here what you're doing right now. So entering here, I mean, you're literally entering basically in the middle of a range, and then in the middle of that range. Right. This is not an area to enter anything at right now.
And that's the play I was looking for when we opened up. That short right at 763 to test the middle of that range is like where I was looking for right at the open.
Yeah, that was a perfect, and that's me and Colby trade a little bit differently. I hold my trade for a lot longer than he does overall. And his trading style right now is the trading style to have, and all the time. There's nothing wrong with his trading style. He makes a lot of money. Um, I just hold on to mine for a little bit longer. But as the saying goes, and some people, I disagree with it because they put on a trade and they, make $5 and say, hey, you can't lose money if you take profit, right? Yeah, but you're not going to make money if you're taking, a point, right? He doesn't do that though. He takes, 20, 30, 40, 50 points on NQ. Um, but in general, I'm looking for a wider swing, and he's looking for that, whatever it is, 20, 30 points, which is a lot, right? So, and that's kind of the style that we need to incorporate right now, because again, I look back at my trading log, and I had 13 trades where I was up around 15 points, right? Um, which for the size I trade, $2,500, right? A little bit over, but let's just call it 2,500 on average. 2,500 times, call it 10. That's $25,000, right? That I would be up more than I closed the week at. I closed the week, I was up, but not as much as I usually am, right? So, um, right now, doing my normal trading, methodology or strategy, whatever you want to call it, is not working out, right? I am catching good entries, but however, they're just not following through. I mean, and that's the market, guys. Sometimes you can have the best strategy in the world, um, but there will just be times in the market where it's just not working. It's just not. I mean, that's just the way it is. You can't, if unfortunately, you can't really do anything about that except adjust, right? So that's what I'm going to have to do here. I'm going to have to start adjusting. And this is why I said don't short around this area. Even if you're expecting a big move down, you do not want to short around this area, because this is what they're probably going to do from here. They're probably going to come back up, test higher. Right. They accumulated a little bit here. I would say right now they hold 74, 75. They're going to push back up, potentially back up to 86, right around here. That's what they're probably going to do here. If they hold 74, 74.50, call it 74.25. Let's just say 74 to average it out. They can hold 74 here. They're probably going to push back up to that 86 area. 84, 86. If they hold this guy here. Okay. But again, same thing with ES. I mean, if you look here, this is basically your overall range. Right around here. Okay. They, they broke out, came back into it. They broke below it, came back into it. This is your overall range. And again, this is why you don't want to be short down here. Okay. This is where you long, targeting here, the top. Right. If you want to play this, right. If you want to play this type of range. Me personally, I'm going to be waiting for them to push into this guy. I don't think they're going to push into this guy. I don't think so. All right. I think they should. These people here should hold this. They should hold this overall area here. I don't think they'll push back into them. So here, actually a decent short to take here would be 99. Stop loss here, 903, 904, call it. That's kind of what I'd be looking for. I think I have this on 68 actually. $95, $97. It'll give you 97 entry there. $97. Stop at 904. And again, guys, if they do not break this, this really does have the potential to give you something like... This has the potential to give you something like this here. And that's kind of my idea there. You know, and I would not be surprised at all if from there they give you this guy. Right. I know a lot of people were expecting, like down here, 750 to 720. You know, that would be really stretching it, right? You want to play what's in front of us, and you know, going back to studies here, you know, if you get a a profile like this, what do you guys expect to happen if we break into it?
Move to the other side of the value.
Move to the other side of the value, right? And it being small, it gives you a lower or a higher probability to come to the other extreme.
Higher?
Higher, yes. Yes, sir, very good. It gives you a higher possibility to come to the other extreme. Right? So if you want to play this more conservatively here, right, you short around here, you target around here. This becomes a 10 risk reward trade here. Right? These are the trades that I normally, you know, like to take, where I let these plays play out like this. And again, with this being, you know we've got this heavy accumulation here, so it's very simple, guys. Either they're gonna defend it or they're not. Right? We don't know if they are. We don't know that, right? They can come in, break it, and go higher, right? But you've got to just try to catch, you know, the most probable trade, and to me, that's it. This is probably going to be the cleanest setup that we can get as far as actually getting a big move. This guy here. Now, you know, you can trim along the way. If you enter on, you know, 5 or whatever micros, you know, or if you enter, let's say you normally trade 1 ES, which you can start doing here if you're going to swing this type of play. You can enter your 10 MES here, right? And you can target, you know, you can target trim 1 here, trim 2 here, final trim down here at 29. Right, so you could trim 3 here, trim another 3 down here, and then let your other, you know, 4, whatever, run down to this area. Right. But that's going to be the cleanest, best, most probable place where we're actually going to get a quality move. Is there. Right.
That's to reiterate on something I was talking to Boosted about maybe last week or something, that the market's moving from balance to imbalance. If you look on that whole way up, since we've been pushing, we balanced, we pushed up, we balanced again, we pushed up. We're repeating that cycle all over and over again until we lose a balance.
Yeah, until you lose the balance, exactly. Until you lose the balance, and then that balance will become an SR flip in and of itself. Right. Most days, most of the time, when you lose a balance, right, it becomes an SR flip. Meaning that, let's see here, like on a trend. Let's see what we can see an example here. Let's see here. I'm not really seeing one here clearly. um, the problem is they haven't been again holding these things. Okay, like here's a decent example, and these happen again all the time. Essentially here, this is a small one here, but essentially right here, okay, this is a little small balance, right? The last one that created this higher high, right, was essentially these guys right here. They came down lower, but then they reversed it, and so what will end up happening is when they do that, this area here will become an SR flip area, right? And usually they'll break it, and they'll then hold this instead of becoming an area where they sold off from, will now become an area where they try to defend, right? So they'll defend it here, they'll defend it here, and they'll push higher from it, right? So they'll become SR flip areas. And that's something that you can, again, pay attention to, right? So, again, this is actually a good example here, right? This is an accumulation area right here. Essentially, what, from, let's say, here to here. Okay, from here they accumulated, went higher, right? But then, what happened here? We lost it, right? It got lost. They broke it right here. Sell off, they broke it, broke the lows, broke the balance, right? This is the balance from where we went higher, right? From here we went higher from this balance right here. Okay? This guy. All right, so then what happens is you lose it, right? And this now becomes an SR flip, right? So instead of it being support, right, it becomes resistance. They lost it here, they push back into it, reject. They push back into it, again, reject. Right, it'll become an SR flip area. Anybody understand why? I want to take a guess why that happens. Right, it it happened because I'll answer it for them. It happened because these are created by institutions, right? So the only other person that can break, or the only other people that can break a balance, right? Break a balance from where something happened, right? Like going higher. The only other people that can do that are who? Institutions, right? So if they came in here with more firepower, right? They came in here with enough imbalance of selling here to take out the balance from where bulls went higher, right? That means that they're going to probably defend their position, right? So there's two ways you could have looked at this. You could have looked at it from this balance, or you could have looked at it from this balance.
Not only do those guys defend their position, but the guys that got trapped thinking that there was going to be buyer support in that range go, oh shit, we got the opportunity to get out here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they'll add to it, right? Because if these guys, yeah, exactly what Colby's saying, right? You're coming back here, and so what happens is you're coming back to an area of support, right? And let's say And this is why you get these right here, guys. This is why you get these. What do you guys think happened here? Here and here. Yeah, but it's an SR flip, but why did it happen?
The buyer's not there anymore.
Yeah. It's what Colby just said right now. This is, you're seeing it actually on the chart, right? The reason, right, the madness behind, what happened is, the emotional part of it is what Colby just said, right? That's the emotional aspect, right? But the result, the end result is this. This is literally what he just said, but you're seeing it visually represented. Remember, all these candles are just emotions, right? That's literally pretty much what they are, right? They're just emotions. But here you're getting them, interpreted to you in a candlestick pattern, visualization here. But and this is exactly what Colby is saying here. They were long here, right? They were long here. They saw this balance here, right? And so they said, we've got a heavy accumulation. They're coming back in. I'm looking for them to defend here and possibly push back higher, right? And so when that did not happen, and we got the lows here of this balance taken out here, what did they do here?
Sellers defended.
Sellers defended, but what did buyers do here that were trapped?
Oh, they sold off.
They sold off. Why?
Because they were trapped there for so long, I guess they were trying to break even.
Break even. Exactly. Exactly. They were trying to break even. All right. They came right to where a lot of them are sitting at. And they said, fuck this. They're probably going lower. Let me go ahead and just, down here they were praying, right? They said they weren't going to drink anymore. They said they were going to stop using drugs. They said they were going to, be a better person if they could just reverse and let them get out of break even. Right. So, they got their prayer answered here, came close to their break even, and they said, let me go ahead and get out of here. Right. And then sellers step back in, defend their position here, because remember, they got to come in heavy here, take them out. So sellers step back in, trap buyers start getting out. Next move. Right. Then you add volume profile onto that. You've got a nice, beautiful edge here. Okay. Stop loss would be here. You don't want them to reclaim that. Right. Ledge, short, see you later. Right, this is how we normally trade, but the way the market has been trading recently is they'll give you this dump here, they'll come and they'll buy it right back up. Right, that's what it's been doing this week. Right, what it normally does is not what it's been doing this week. Right, normally this is our bread and butter of how we trade. But this week, they've been giving you this shit here, where you're getting, a breakdown here from the accumulation, right? And this would be where they would normally, right? Normally, and they try to do it here. They'll normally come back into it and see you later, right? But no, they came into it and reversed it. Same thing, right? That's what they've been doing this whole week, right? They reclaimed it here, no follow through, came back, broke it again, broke this little area, finding buyers again. Now you're at the top, nothing there, no follow through. You come back to the bottom, nothing there. Look, now they're buying it up. This is why I said do not short around here. So that's what they've been doing this week, right? Breaking down, trapping, reclaiming, going higher, right? Breaking out, trapping, coming down. That's what they've been doing. No follow through. Right. Normally, you know, the way we trade, our trading system or philosophy here is real easy for the most part. Um, but right now, it's like, hey, you basically got to catch these extremes, and you got to have your nerves got to be on check to hold these positions because you're getting a lot of sideways. And that's the good thing about trading futures. It doesn't matter. If you chop sideways the whole day, if your entry is here, your target, let's say, is a break of here, you don't have to deal with theta, right? Your price is price. You're still going to make the same amount. Doesn't matter if it takes 12 hours to get to your profit. Um, with options, you're going to be probably, you could still be red 12 hours later, even if you enter here or be at break even. Right? With options, you need the move to happen pretty quick if you're playing 0 days, anyways. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much what I got for tonight. Again, they're big people here. There are big people here. This breakout was pretty aggressive, but they accumulated here and sent us right back. And it's a 4-hour strong high. Weak directional performance on the weekly, et cetera, right? So again, from this general area here, this is to me probably the best actual quality trade that there is here. This area.
See, based on how they've been trading, I'm looking for your orange area above for them to trap those guys up there and then take it back down again.
Yeah, if they do that, I would definitely re-enter short. Yeah. If they come here tomorrow or tonight and they do something like what Colby's saying here, they come here and they just flirt around here, right? And especially if they lose the bottom of this, right? If they lose the bottom, that's where you can get a little wee action going, right? I'll post the llama there in the chat with a little wee, right? You can get a little wee action going like that. Right, but yeah, in general, this area up here, I'm looking for something to happen here. All right. As of now, if you must, or if for you addicts that want to trade all day, this is basically here. This is basically your range. So if you're fine with the 10-point range, nothing wrong with it. Enter at the bottoms. Get out here right around 83, 84. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. As far as the downside tonight, I would like them to, like Colby said with NQ, I would like them to actually build some value below here. Wait for them to pull back into this area. Short it. Right. And that's pretty much it. I will say, if they don't break above here, unfortunately, I might miss this trade, and they might go ahead and execute lower. If they don't break this high at 86.25, unfortunately, they might go ahead and go lower from here. And this was what, 86.25. And yeah, that's where the majority of these of this accumulation is at, guys. Here on Footprints, it goes up to basically 87.50. So right at 87.50, we're getting a large amount of orders, right? And on this 4-hour candle here, we have 659,329 volume there. So somebody's mic is hot. That's it for me, guys. Best thing to do is be patient and wait for something up here. Again, you could take a stab around here short. Okay, they might give you that. I would wait for them to come into 90. Have my stop loss here like 93. see if they can give you that. If not, they're probably going to keep pushing back up into this area, 97-ish, 902-ish, right around there. All right, 98 is where the big volume starts at the top of this, right? 98 up to 903. 98 to 903. Okay, 98. Yep, and here you've got this little ledge sitting here at 98 right here. So yeah, right around there, guys. I mean, if you want to set your limit at 98, limit short 98, stop loss 904, maybe we wake up to a lot of money tomorrow morning. All right. Any questions, anybody?
Appreciate your time, dude.
Yeah, no problem. I'll post this on YouTube if any of you guys want to go back and watch it. Have a good one, everybody.